Dan Allah jama'a a yi haƙuri, mai girma gwamna ya riga ya miƙe zai yi jawabi. Dan Allah a yi haƙuri, idan an yarda a yi haƙuri mu tafa ma junanmu. To mun gode, dan Allah a yi haƙuri.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Honorable Commissioner and members of the State Executive Council, members of the State Security Council, special advisors, senior special assistants, the executive chairman of local government areas, DPMs of development areas, and other government officials here present. Your Royal Highness, the Emir of Lafia, Alhaji Isa Mustafa Agway I, the Chairman, Nasarawa State Council of Chiefs, other royal fathers here present across the state, community leaders, political leaders, and leaders of various ethnic nationalities in Nasarawa State, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me start by giving thanks and praises to Almighty God for giving us the opportunity to meet today to sympathize and commiserate with one another over what has bedeviled the state for quite some time, and most especially the problems of the recent past. I specifically call for this very special occasion to show to the people of Nasarawa State the caring responsibility on the shoulders of this administration with regard to people who have found themselves in distress, people who have found themselves in situations of challenges far beyond what they could cope with. This problem has arisen as a result of communal clashes from one community to another. Suffices to say, the state has experienced communal clashes in the past, one too many. However, we shall do well to remember that the security challenges we are facing in the state at the moment dated back to many years, even before the emergence of this administration. However, government being a continuous process, we have to build confidence in the citizenry by giving the citizenry the right kind of leadership that gives them confidence and assurance of peace and security and the protection of life and property. Security challenges such as we have experienced in the recent past and are still experiencing are things that are not peculiar to Nasarawa State alone. Security challenges have become global menace. And for us in Nigeria, it is a thought on. And we have been grappling with it for many years. I don't want to keep itemizing the challenges we have been having since we came on board from one community to another, involving one ethnic nationality and another. But as God will have it, it's a matter of fate. We cannot escape the fate that has befallen us. But one thing that is most important and instructive is the fact that we are one people with one destiny. Nasarawa State belongs to each and every one of us. And it is the responsibility of each and every one of us, whether you find yourself within the confines of government offices or responsibility, or you are a mere ordinary citizen finding the wherewithal to make a living. There is responsibility on each and every one of us, whether you are a governor, a traditional ruler, a permanent secretary, a commissioner, a security operative, a politician, a farmer, a fisherman, a truck pusher, a nail cutter, a carpenter, and what have you. You have a responsibility to protect the interests of the state. And this responsibility sometimes has to do with sacrifice. Our forefathers have lived together for centuries. They lived amicably with one another, even at a time when the affinity among themselves was not that chummy or that too familiar. We have been bequeathed with this relationship, and it is our responsibility to ensure that whatever your ethnic nationality, whatever you profess as religion, whatever is your vocation in politics or in business, that you have one place you call your own. You have one state you call your own. And when the chips are down, you will fall back on the state to ensure we are living for peaceful coexistence. It is therefore incumbent on each and every one of us, whatever is our differences, to ensure the endurance, the survival, and the oneness of Nasarawa State. Your Royal Highnesses, community leaders, leaders of different ethnic nationalities across Nasarawa State, I think time has come when we must tell ourselves the home truth, that we are chasing shadows by fighting one another. And we have left ourselves to be indoctrinated for no just cause. If we have to tell ourselves the truth, there are some people who do not mean well to this state. And these are the people indoctrinating, instigating, and creating confusion simply because those individuals found themselves in certain position of prominence, either as politicians or some as government officials, and are ad hoc Some felt the only way to sustain their status quo is to ensure that they indoctrinate, they confuse, they instigate one community after another. We all know the efforts each and every of our traditional rulers have been making in their domain. We all know the efforts community and tribal leaders have been making towards our baby community-based conflict resolution mechanism across the state in the past 4 years. But even with such efforts, some people try to put spanner in the works. This government has called not once, not twice, peace summit to discuss issues bedeviling the security situation in the state. And I must appreciate those patriotic civilians, some in public offices, some in all kinds of vocations, who have blessed that meeting and provide solutions, counsels and advice on how we will live together. But there are among the citizens of this state people that have become serial saboteurs, who have blatantly refused to even attend such meetings. And these are the people who have the audacity now to go from one community and another seeking mandate for a place they want to destroy. It is for this reason that this administration will not leave anything unturned to ensure that the peace that has existed amongst the people of the Nasarawa state many, many years before the state was created, that such relationship, such affinity must be promoted to the highest level. It becomes so ridiculous when you find a team fighting a Fulanima or an Egon fighting an Analogo man or an Ake fighting a Gondara man or a Rendre fighting a Migili man. We are people who have had our history from the same source, so to speak. All the communities that live in this state have their relationship dated back hundreds of years. Why do we find this time most opportune to bastardize, to destroy those good legacies that have been bequeathed to us by our forefathers? I think we have a challenge. Except we want to commit abomination by continuing to fight one another, it is high time we got our senses back into our heads and consider each as his own brother's keepers. For this reason, government will continue to support every initiative by any community to live in peace. It is for this reason that this administration will do all that this administration can to encourage the teeming citizens of Nasarawa state who have deserted their areas of domain because of fear of their lives to live in IDPs in a situation or an environment that is not conducive for their living. That is why this administration has decided to commence the process of practical reconciliation here and now. By appealing to all the ethnic nationalities in Nasarawa state, we are all here, that we have our lives in our own hands. And we will be too wicked if we also, after destroying our lives, destroy the lives of our children and grandchildren. So it is imperative that we must toe the line of peace. We must toe the line of reconciliation. We must toe the line of sacrifice. I wish to call on all and sundry that as from today, as we distribute some of these relief materials, which is just a little after what we have planned to distribute across the areas affected, that leaders of this community should start getting ready to move back to their various areas of domain. Government has already mapped out security arrangements with security bases and surveillance to ensure the protection of lives and property. I would call on each and every one of you to start making arrangements. Those in areas where they consider still not safe or vulnerable should come forward and inform the government about what they consider to be their fears. And instantly, we will provide solutions so that you'll be able to go back to your areas. I would also like to add that immediately after the distribution of these relief materials and also some assistance by way of little funds, government will set up a team that will go from one community after another to ensure that these communities are conducive and are safe for people's return. We will also look at areas where households have been destroyed or certain vital services have been disrupted to ensure that these are provided so that when people get back to these areas, life will commence without any encumbrances. I'd also like to mention at this point in time that government is focused on ensuring that criminality is completely stamped out of Nasarawa State. It is for this reason that government has already started implementing some of the decisions in our white paper. Virtually every aspect of the white paper is now in the process of implementation. The administrative aspect has already gone very far. The investigative aspect and the prosecution aspect, those with the security operatives for proper investigation have already been handed over to the security operatives, and I'm very sure that within a very short period of time that the security operatives will commence their process of investigation and immediate prosecution of criminals in our midst. I want to correct the wrong notion or impression that has been bandied around that the government has not been able to implement the white paper. I make bold to say each of the 3 white papers that have been made public have been implemented as far as government is concerned. What people see as aspect of the white paper that has not been implemented are those white papers that deal with the Judicial Commission of Inquiry, where some people have been found wanting and the security operatives are supposed to commence proper investigation preparatory to prosecution. If there is any aspect of the white paper that has not seen the light of the day, it is only that aspect. And I would use this opportunity to appeal to the security operatives, especially the police, to fasten and expedite action on the investigation of people that have been identified to participate in the criminal act of the past. I would also like to add that in the next 10 days, a national exercise of permanent voters registration card will commence in Nasarawa state. That is why we are making this effort, apart from rehabilitating people who have deserted their areas, to also give them relief, give them support, and then also encourage them to go back to their places of domain so that they'll be fully settled by the time the exercise of permanent voters registration commences on the 7th to 9th of November next month. I will appeal to you to expedite action in going back to your various domains. And like I said earlier, please report to us any challenges you face with regard to security of life or property when you go back. Finally, our conflict resolution mechanism and initiative will still continue. And like I have said before, what we have made success of as a result of our reconciliation of the thieves and the Fulanis, which for about 5 months now, we have not had any problem between these communities, will be used in this present situation so that each of the warring communities will go back to their various domains. We will call the communities one after the other to discuss with them. But I want to sound a word of warning. Anybody who would participate in this conflict resolution must be somebody that is domiciled or somebody that has something to do with the area that has the problem. The mere fact that you are Bandara from Garapu does not give you the license to come and settle scores between a Bandara man in Dadare and a Legon. You should stay in Garapu and solve your problem there, because we don't want further factionalization of the citizens of Nasarawa state. If you have any of your constituencies, stay in your own constituency and ensure the amicable resolution of conflict amongst various tribes within your constituency. This administration will no longer tolerate or condone or accept anybody from a different local government to come to a particular local government in the name of conflict resolution. Solve your problem in your own area. I am making this because in the past, when we invited people to come for conflict resolution or peace summit, that people will stay and go to night on hotel, call some politicians, and start to create insinuations and perpetrate and orchestrate things that will further worsen the process of reconciliation. And these are the people who would point accusing fingers to government for not doing well to reconcile people. If you truly mean to reconcile, leave your cozy office in Abuja and come to your domain and talk to your brothers and sisters so that we can have peace. With this, Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will commence distribution of materials to people of Ashangwa, Alika, Asaikyo, Uga, Baikano, Obi, Datere, Ikwa, Nasara Egong, Ajaragun Tofa, Wamba, and also the Fulani communities. This list is by no means exhaustive. I'm sure there are certain areas that have been left, but we have put them in areas of administrative convenience. Like for instance, in Arika, there are the Rindra people, there are the Egon people, there are some other tribes that are within Arika community. For instance, in areas like Dadare, there are are the Kwandaras, there are the Egons, there are other tribes. So the names we have given are not just the name for the towns, but the name of the center for such distribution. We have decided to do that not to particularize on ethnic nationalities, because we don't want to further factionalize the people of Nasarawa state. I feel the people of Deltare, the people of Ugan, the people of Bakeno, the people of Nasarawa, the people of Wamba, with all the ethnic nationalities around them, should come and share in the reconciliation by distributing this relief, so that each and everyone would have sense of belonging and sense of participation. On this note, I want to thank you for honoring this invitation. I also want to thank you for your commitment to peace. I want to thank you for your commitment to the support of Nasarawa State for a one, safe, united, and indivisible state. I pray that Almighty God will continue to give us the wisdom so that we'll be able to reclaim our status quo as one of the most peaceful states in the Federation. I see this little problem that has happened as something that is ad hoc, and with the commitment and zeal of our minds, we will be able to solve the problem and leave a legacy of peace and stability and friendship amongst our various communities. Thank you. May God bless you.